Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again with another action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the DC Multiverse. This is Wonder Woman. More specifically, this is the Wonder Woman from Batman Last Night on Earth. So this is, these are very cool. These are kind of the Build-A-Figure kind of, I don't know, whatever. This comes in a standard DC Multiverse packaging here. It's a slightly bigger figure, so the box is a little bit bigger than normal. This is the Bane Collect and Connect, Build-A-Figure, whatever, wave. So this is number 2 of 4, I think. So yeah, it does come on a slightly bigger box because of that, to accommodate Bane, which is supposed to be a much bigger figure than kind of standard. So yeah, we have a nice big window box here showing Wonder Woman, and for whatever reason they really highlighted the Bane Build-A-Figure pieces, and I don't know if that's intentional or just because he's so big they couldn't really find a way to hide the pieces inside. So I don't know, we'll see. Looking at the rest of the packaging here, the top is kind of more of that window box thing here. The bottom has more copyrighty information here. This is 2021. The side has the Wonder Woman Batman Last Night on Earth. The other side has, turn it the right way, Wonder Woman and more of that window box thing here. DC Multiverse McFarlane Toys. The back, we have a little bit of a small synopsis here from the source, Batman Last Night on Earth number 1. That extended artwork here. Some of the rest of the figures in this wave, and how to build Bane kind of synopsis thing going on there. So let's go ahead and dive into this thing. We got a little piece of those round stickery tape things here at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and slice into that. So to be honest with you, I wasn't really impressed with this particular wave of figures. So I haven't picked them up. I did kind of like this Wonder Woman, the look of her. So it's really the only figure in the set that kind of stood out to me. So I don't know if I'm actually going to go ahead and pick up the rest of them to do the Bane figure or not. Slide that tray out. There's nothing else left in there. So any of y'all that have already done the Collect and Connect Bane, I'm curious if it's worthwhile to try to build him or not. We'll see. The tray lifts right out. We have inside here this standard kind of blue comic-y backgroundy thing here that has the figure stand and the card in it. I've not really had a good way of getting these things off without like damaging the card and things like that. So we're going to do this the ugly way today to see how well this works. In like the Mortal Kombat figure series from McFarlane Toys, you can kind of bend this and then grab a hold of it this way and pull it out. That seems to be the easiest way to get to this, the figure stand, which we'll come back to here in a second. And I'm going to try the same thing, just kind of pull this plastic up to get to the card, to see if that comes out a little easier. So that's not too bad. That may be the best way to do it here. It looks ugly, but luckily we're going to be throwing this in the recycle bin, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright, there's those pieces. We'll move on to the actual figure here. We do have a piece of tape holding the accessories, including the Bane Build-A-Figure pieces. So let's slice that tape first. And this tape here. Alright, then we'll pull the sword out. We will zoom in here in a second and look at these things closer, but that is weird. Bane Build-A-Figure pieces. That's kind of cool, but yeah. Alright, so looking at this, trying to figure out what else is left here, I see the clear plastic thing that's going across her waist here, and looking at the back, they are those weird little plasticky hooky things. I don't know if you can see right there or not, but that's what we're looking at. So that means we have to slice it from the front. We could probably actually clip it. I'm going to actually try that. So we're going to use our clippers here and reach right in right there and just snip it. That actually works better than the X-Acto knife in this case. We do have her cape that's kind of going through the back here. So I am going to, I guess, just grab her feet. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Alright, and that's starting to come out. Alright, and then you just yank really hard. So there's the figure. Oh, that's a pain. Alright, tossing that to the side now that we have everything out. We can zoom in a little bit here and take a little bit of a closer look at the figure. Alright, this is a slightly larger figure, so these DC Multiverse figures are more in the, what, like 7-inch line? They're not exactly 6-inch figures, so I want to say they're closer to that 7-inch. I don't have a tape measure here for whatever reason. But they are slightly bigger, so yeah, they look a little bit bigger. So, alright, moving on, let's look at the accessories here. We do have this trading card here. Has that same artwork we had from the packaging here. Flipping it over to the back. Can y'all see that? I may have to dial this down. So you can pause it here if you would like to read through that. Still, very cool card there. And that one actually came out without too much of an issue. Holding it up to the light. I don't know if y'all can see it or not, but there is still a scratch going down this side. So I don't know if y'all do much with these trading cards or not, but trying to get them in pristine condition is not easy for whatever reason. I don't understand that, but yeah, not going to grade that one, that's for sure. We're going to look, I guess, let's go to the figure stand first here. Standard DC Multiverse figure stand. Basically a solid black piece here with the black DC logo at the bottom here. So if you shift the light on it, you can see that logo shows up there. We got one standard foot peg there. Pretty standard for what we get from the McFarlane Toys kind of line. Still nice to have that. We do have two Bane Build-A-Figure pieces here, so we're going to look at those. There's some nice detail on this thing. So this is the left arm, I guess. We got this cool band going around his bicep here, which is sculpted on there. So, but it also kind of feels like it's made of a weird plastic thing. I don't know. It does have some articulation on it. It's very stiff here at the bicep there, so the elbow joint. That's about it. So yeah, I mean, really nice detail, but it's kind of useless without the rest of the Build-A-Figure pieces. So this is going to go into a tub until I decide whether or not I really want to look at this or not. I don't know, but still fairly interesting. I do like the detail work on this armband and this like leather bracelet thing here. And like I said, it's got this weird kind of feel to it, so it's almost like a soft plastic, but not quite. I don't really know what that is. Alright, there's one piece. The other arm is a little bit more interesting in that it has the cool Venom serum. It still has that weird, slightly plasticky feel to some of this stuff. But really awesome detail going on to this thing. I don't know. I'm not really sure that this particular iteration of Bane is going to be my favorite. The arms, there's something about the arms that doesn't quite set right with me. I don't really know. I think, again, I don't have the rest of the figure here, so I can't really say. But I think it's the fact that his shoulders are so much bigger than like his biceps, and like the forearm piece is like really massive compared to everything else. So it just, I guess the proportions seem a little odd to me. I guess I'm more inclined to think that the bicep should be bigger, although that's still a massive arm. I don't know. I think that's what's throwing me off, but again, I don't have the rest of the figure here, so I don't really know. But nice detail work anyways. They got some cool texture on the actual skin itself. You can see the veins popping up. And I like that Venom bracelet gauntlet thingy. So I don't know. We'll throw that to the side here, and at some point I'll have to decide if I'm going to get those other pieces or not. And I don't know. Moving on to the actual figure. The other accessory, or really the only accessory for Wonder Woman here, is this sword. It's a nice looking sword. It's got some nice detail in it here. I'm going to, again, adjust the light a little bit to see if we can get the detail to pick up a little bit better. Nice bright gold coloring on the hilt and the handle. The rest of the sword itself is more like a saber than anything, I would say. It is made out of very soft plastic. As you can see here, it is extremely easy to bend, which kind of has me thrown off a little bit. I don't really know if I like that particular aesthetically. I don't know if I like this style aesthetically. The aesthetics are a little odd to me. It looks cool, but it's still really flimsy and just, I don't know about that. But again, you can see some nice detail in the actual blade itself. Some little scratches and things like that along the blade itself. The blood groove in there. They've done a really nice job on it. And it definitely does look like more of a saber than an actual sword. So that's an interesting take here. On her side, I do see that we have this cool sheath here, and we're going to slide that in there. It fits in very easily, so that is very cool. It does pivot. It moves forward and backwards, so that is really nice. I like that. I'm more inclined to want it to go out like that. So I am very, very happy that it will do that. It looks like it there we go. It does snap in place there if you push down on it far enough. And it comes out pretty easily, so I like that little catch there. Kind of locks it in place so it's not going to accidentally fall out. Still very cool. Then we can kind of sit it in her hand. Let's see if that'll work. Fairly easily there, so yeah. And it's not terribly crazy looking. It's proportionately, it looks like a fairly decent saber there. So yeah, that's not bad at all. I just knocked the scabbard off. So there's that. So if you'll look at the side, let's actually take her sword back out. We'll set that to the side here. So if we look at her side here, we can see here is where it goes. So there's just a big hole right there. The actual scabbard itself is just got this kind of, it's not really a peg joint, but it kind of is, and it just kind of fits in there and then just kind of rotates. But that also means it pops out fairly easily. That is interesting, but I kind of like that because it allows you to take it off if she doesn't have her sword at the time, and still looks fairly decent here. So yeah, that's actually pretty cool. I'm digging that. So we're going to count that as part of the accessory. And because of that, we're going to take a look at it here. It does have some nice detail in that hilt scabbard. It is made out of a slightly stronger plastic here, but it's also kind of hollow on the backside, so it twists, but it doesn't really bend. So that's good. Take the saber, slide it in there, and you can feel that little catch. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but yeah, I can hear it, and it's got a nice satisfying snap. So anyways, I like that. That's cool. We'll throw that to the side here and keep going here. Let's take a look at the actual figure itself. The cape is sadly kind of stuck on there. That's the only major thing I haven't really liked so far about a lot of these McFarlane toys, is the fact that the cape is kind of glued in place and you can't remove it. And if I move around to look inside there, you can kind of see where the plastic is kind of rough in there, and kind of, so it's not really meant to be removed. And you can see underneath here, not really an easy way to do that. So I don't know. If you know of an easy way to deal with that, let me know that in the comment section. But we're going to move on here. So the head sculpt itself looks pretty nice. I mean, it does look nice. I'm going to dial, again, the light down so we don't blind it. She's kind of a pale character. It's not the traditional Wonder Woman that you're used to. It's a different take. And they've done a fairly decent job here of capturing that style. I do like the mohawk, the paint apps showing the kind of shaven head part there. It's a little heavy on the stubble, I guess I would say. I would have liked to maybe have seen that to be more of like a clean cut. So looking at the card again that came with it, there's not stubble there. So I think I would have preferred that to not be painted stubble, but that's me. Beyond that, I mean, it looks really nice. She's got a nice facial sculpt here. The hair looks really good. There's, again, lots of detail in there. Let me pull the light back up. Sorry, I keep switching back and forth, but you can see the sculpting on the hair looks really nice. Moving on down to the rest of the figure here. Again, the cape looks really awesome. They always do a really good job here with the detail. The textures on the cape, very kind of roughish feel to it, very kind of actual material feel, I guess is what I would say here. Past that, we have some nice sculpted musculature going on there. Looks really good. The breastplate looks really nice. Not too much weird paint stuff going on there. The metallic red works really well. We've got some nice arm bracelets, bicep bracelets. I don't know what you call those things, but then we have the actual bracers themselves. We've got that cool belt thing for her sword, and then the actual, I don't know what you call that, but that waistcloth thing there. Looks really nice, has a lot of nice little details as well. Again, it's got kind of that leathery texture going on there, along with the metallic highlights, I guess. Then on the side there, you've got the star on that side. Not a whole lot going on down here. Some things going around her thigh there. Some cool looking knee pads here. And I really do like these boots here. Again, not a lot of detail on them, but just enough. And they got those nice little bits that stick out there. Those kind of buckly looking things there that are kind of standard McFarlane flair, if I had to say so. Her bottom boots here, again, have a nice switch up into a nice texture there. So, very interesting there. She does have another knife here sculpted into her other side, which I didn't see before. Let's see if we can look at that. So that is also movable, very much so like the sword scabbard. So you can kind of pivot that up and down to get it to go where you want to. I don't know if that actually is going to pop off as well. It does. So you can remove that. I'm not going to count that as an accessory because it's painted the same single color. But it does have some detail on it. And I do like the fact that these things are removable. They may not be meant to be removed, but they are removable, and then they can kind of go back in there pretty easily. Well, fairly easily. That one's a little bit harder than the scabbard for the sword. So be aware of that if you're dealing with it, that you may have to kind of press in a little bit harder on this one and twist it to get it to go. But once it's in place, looks very nice. You can kind of pivot it to wherever it needs to be. So yeah, very, very nice looking. So let's look at articulation real quick. The head does spin, I think it does spin 360 degrees. The little hair bob thing does get in the way a little bit, so you may have to kind of shift that around to get it to go. But once you do that, you've got left and right head tilt, up and down. That ponytail kind of gets in the way of her looking up more, but everything else looks really nice there. It also kind of bumps against the back of that cape. So, no big deal there. We have standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joints there. The cape kind of gets in the way. There is an actual butterfly shoulder joint there, so it's the double shoulder, I guess is what I would call it. But that butterfly joint is there as well. We do have a swivel at the middle of the bicep there where those guards are. We do get a double elbow joint there. We get a swivel, one of those round swivelly rockery things there for the hand, wrist, whatever you want to call it there. Then we have the ab twist feature. We've got plenty of ab crunch as well. So that mid-torso section is in place there. Very, very nice there. We also have, I guess, so in this case, it's what would be the waist, but it's between the top of the So where the sword belt is buckled around her waist, there is another pivot joint there. It's a little hard to get the move because of the fact that the other one is so close there, so you may have to kind of move things around a little bit, but it's there. Then we got the standard weird plastic T-hook things there at the hips. It's got the nice clicky movement going on there, so she can go out about that far. These little I don't know what you call those things, but these little plastic pieces here kind of get in the way a little bit, but you can at least get it out that far. Back that far without having to twist things too badly. Forward about that far, so the waist piece does kind of get in the way a little bit. We don't have, again, it is that weird kind of shifty hip joint there, so you can kind of shift those legs around a little bit, but there's no twist at the top of those things technically. Whatever. We do have a double knee joint here, which this one's a little stiff, but it's there. Then we have the standard round twisty rocker thing there at the ankles, and then also the toe joint. So all in all, this one has the standard articulation we're used to for these DC Multiverse figures. Her right hand looks a little bit big in comparison to her left hand. Not terribly so, but a little bit out of proportion. But all in all, I am really liking this particular figure. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I do. And I guess I've said that a few times now with a few of these figures, is that they have actually been surprising me in how much I end up liking them after I get them out of the package here. Again, for whatever reason, this figure didn't really scream out to me too awful much on the shelf, but compared to the rest of the figures in this particular wave with the Bane Build-A-Figure, this was the one that said more to me than the rest, but I still wasn't really all that excited about this particular figure. But now that I actually have it, I'm almost thinking it's one of my favorite Wonder Woman figures so far. So yeah, again, it's kind of surprising, but I'm a lot more interested in this figure than I was expecting myself to be. So yeah, I mean, it's got a few minor issues. The paint apps on her hair stubble is really about the only thing that really aggravates me. But and then the non-removable cape is about the only other thing that's kind of a downer for me. But beyond that, I am really liking this figure here. Well, that's all the time we have for today, so thanks for stopping by. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you think of this Wonder Woman Batman Last Night on Earth figure. As I said before, I am very surprised at how much I like this figure, so I'm interested to see if anybody else has kind of had that reaction to this, or if maybe not to this figure. Is there a figure out of these DC Multiverse waves that has kind of surprised you? And if so, you know, what was that figure here? How does this Wonder Woman compare to some of the other Wonder Woman figures that you've seen? Which one is your favorite so far? Is there one that you're looking forward to getting, maybe that we haven't seen before? Anything else you want to put? That's what the comment section is for, so drop them down there. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up, a thumbs sideways, share it, subscribe. I don't know. What else is left there? I don't know. But thanks for stopping by. As always, Be on the lookout for more awesome content coming down the pipeline. And until next time.